everything I see on team building is always like somebody in a mega church who's telling me how to build my team, but I'm at a Nazarene church and they always say like, get the right people, make sure you don't get the wrong people. And typically I don't have like 3,000 people to pick from where I'm like, you're all great options and I want you to because you're the best. Like a Nazarene church typically has that one guy who's willing to go, you know? So I think that's like the first place I always have to start, is that my experience is not the same as all of the people who are telling me how to build a team. So I think where I end up next is I end up looking at that guy saying like, I can either lead you and like work you and treat you like a staff person where I'm trying to get you to do the things that I need. But I kind of find that ministry is a little lonely, that it's a little bit isolating. And so what I end up with is that those people who end up being my teammates who are working with me also turn out to be my friend circle. There aren't a whole lot of other people in the church and youth ministry that we get to be with, that we get to interact with. And so these are the people that I'm going to spend, however many years I'm at my church, I'm going to spend my life with them.
Oftentimes we go about it in the wrong way. And so we look for, or when we have someone who's interested, we quickly try and answer their call with questions of what, or when, or who, or where. And I think what we need to start with is the question of why. Why would you help out in youth ministry? Why would you participate? Why would you give of your Wednesday night when you could be at home eating a nice calm dinner with your family to come and possibly get nailed in the face with a dodgeball, get, made fun of, or feel insecure about yourself because they're so much cooler than you, or giving the cold shoulder because they're too cool for school? Why would you do that? Why would you give of your time? And so answering that question produces youth workers who are bought in. They're not just mindless automatons that are doing your will, doing your bidding, but they're interested, they're bought in, and they feel like they have a piece of the pie. They're not just an extension of your task, but they're an extension of your youth ministry.
I think in one of the strong ways of us building a stronger youth ministry team is actually changing our mindset a little bit. In the last year or so, I've been rethinking some things and just kind of changing my focus on things when it comes to building a team, rather than where commonly in the church world and church culture we use the terminology or the language of recruiting volunteers or recruiting adult volunteers or leaders. My focus has shifted to, instead of recruiting, how do we retain adult volunteers? And the whole focus of this is to move from just recruiting and trying to get people into your team and helping with things, but how do we as leaders really retain leaders? How do we get them in, but how do we keep them, and how do we engage them? How do we lead up with them? And so I think one of the best ways and best practices of that is to shift to a place of thinking in regards to retaining adult leaders. And I think that means for us is that we've got to engage and connect with leaders, but then probably the biggest part where most churches are struggling is equipping leaders, getting them the resources that are needed to do the ministry that they're called to do, that they're helping with, that they love, and then the last part is mobilizing them. We connect with them, we engage them, we equip them and resource them, and then we release them out and let them do what God's called them to do.